Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today because we have a really awesome silhouette portrait craft for you. We are making a vinyl mug decal. Alright guys, so here we are in Silhouette Studio, and of course I have just a brand new design area set up, and what we're going to do is import a file for our new coffee mug, yay! And then we're going to talk about sizing it and then sending it to our cutting machine. Now I am using a Silhouette Portrait today, my Silhouette Portrait 3. Super exciting because I really don't use it enough, but with such a small design it's really perfect for this. So the first thing that I want to do is go to my page setup panel, and I'm going to change my machine from the Cameo to the Portrait 3. Now it picks up the Portrait 3 because I do already have it connected. So it's going to pick up my Portrait 3 versus my Cameo 4. So then the cutting mat, I'm going to change to none because I am cutting without a mat today. And then for my media size, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at letter because I have trimmed a piece of vinyl that will be able to feed underneath the rollers just perfectly. Okay? So now let's go ahead and import our design. I'm going to go to File and Merge. And I'm going to pull this design. Now this is from my Downloads folder. I downloaded it and unzipped it already, so I can just locate my SVG file. So next thing I want to do is I do want to go ahead and group it together. I'm going to use this shortcut up here, but you can also right click and choose Group. And then I used my measuring tape and I measured my coffee mug. And I know that I do not want this design any larger than 3 by 3. So I'm going to locate my largest dimension up here in my top toolbar. And it says this is sized to 13 by 12 basically. So I'm going to size down to 3 inches wide, and that automatically updates that it's 2.7 inches high, and that will be absolutely perfect for our mug. So what I'm going to do now is just move it up in the top right corner of my design area of my media size, right? My media page. And I'm going to click over to Send. Now in my Send panel, I want to go ahead and make sure that my design lights up in bright red, which it did. But what that means is that my cut lines are active. So that is definitely the look that I'm going for. And then I can update my material type here. Now mine is already set to vinyl glossy, but you can select whatever type of vinyl you're cutting from the list. Now I picked up that my action is cut and that I have the auto blade already installed in my Portrait 3. Now I can double check my blade here if I want to. It's a blade of 1. And then the force and the speed. I use the standard defaults when cutting permanent adhesive vinyl, so both of those will be completely fine. Now it shows me down here that my Portrait 3 is ready to cut, so I'm free to do a test cut if I want to, or go ahead and send the design to cut. So let's go ahead and head on over to our work area and we will get started. Alright guys, so here we go. I have all the items that we'll need to make our custom mug. Now I am cutting on my cute little Silhouette Portrait 3. I really love it for these small projects. It's the perfect size with a much smaller footprint than your Cameo. And I have transfer tape and this gorgeous holographic adhesive vinyl, one of my personal favorites, some weeding tweezers, and some scissors. Now I've trimmed this down so that it fits perfectly within my Portrait 3, and I can line it up with the wheels and cut without a mat. So I'm gonna go ahead and load it. And you know that I already set up the design in the software, so let's go ahead and send it to cut. Now, if possible, before you eject your material, go ahead and try to do a little weeding. So as long as you had a successful cut, go ahead and eject. So what I can do now is go ahead and trim around my design. Now, of course, you can also create weeding boxes, which of course we have a video on doing so in Silhouette Studio. Now I'm just going to remove the extra vinyl around the outside of the design. Now when weeding vinyl, it is important to make sure that you pull up and not let the vinyl touch back down on other parts of your design that are not weeded yet. That is definitely one of the most disappointing things to do when weeding vinyl. And then of course you're going to come back in with your tweezers and get all of the inside pieces out. Now once your weeding is done, let me show you a little trick. If you happen to have a roll of tape laying around anywhere, you can grab it and it will actually hold your mug pretty well. And it'll keep it at an angle so that you don't have to worry about holding it yourself. Now grab your transfer tape, and what I like to do is go ahead and just eyeball a piece that will be large enough for my design and trim it off. I'm going to remove the transfer tape from the backing, and what I like to do is let it droop in the middle so that the first part that will touch down will be the middle of the transfer tape into the middle of my design. And then you can move the sides down as needed. So give it a little bit of a burnish. I cheat a little bit and use my fingernails. And of course, if that doesn't work, then I break out my scraper and I burnish it really well. Now, it's easiest if you turn it over and pull the backing off from the design. After your design is transferred onto your transfer tape, you can now line it up with your mug. So I'm just going to, here, let me lay it down flat and show you guys. I'm just going to align it as center as possible, but be wary of going too low. And I know that sounds weird, but I actually see that a lot, where it'll be placed too low in fear of going too high. So I'll take my scraper, give it a little bit more burnishing onto my mug itself, and I should be able to safely remove my transfer tape and leave my vinyl in place. There we go, guys. So I have a brand new coffee or cranky mug. I'm super excited about that. And of course, I can use it every day. Now remember that vinyl designs on coffee mugs, they are not going to be dishwasher or microwave safe, okay? So you're gonna wanna gently hand wash these in your sink with a soft sponge, and I would give it a few days and allow the adhesive on the back of the vinyl to fully cure. That way you have the most, you're setting yourself up for success. Does that make sense? You don't want to rub it and wash it too soon and cause that adhesive to come loose on the back. But for now, this is our coffee mug, and I'm super excited and proud of it, and hopefully you guys are too. It's a great beginner craft, but it's also just a fun and simple craft that you can create on the fly in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, so how did you feel about our coffee mug vinyl decal project? And of course, I thought it was really simple, really fun. I really love it when I get to use my Silhouette Portrait 3 because it's so cute, so small, yet so versatile. Now, of course, if you have any questions or comments, definitely make sure you leave those below. I do love to come back in and check with you guys, make sure you're doing okay. And naturally, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you learned something, give the video a thumbs up. I really love all the support that you show for us here on the channel to help us keep the channel going so we can bring you more videos in the future. Now, I'm going to wrap it up for today, guys, but I do really appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.